Thank you very much for your introduction. Good afternoon. I'm Minako Takahashi, Chief Curator at the National Center for the Promotion of Cultural Properties, CPCP, and Tokyo National Museum. Today, I'll talk about how digital tools can help build more personal connections between visitors and cultural properties, making these objects feel closer and more engaging. Here is a brief overview of today's agenda. Let me start by briefly introducing our organization. Established in 2018 under the National Institutes for Cultural Heritage, CPCP works to make cultural properties more accessible and meaningful. In collaboration with museums, schools, and the private sector, we've developed immersive technology-driven approaches using 8K imaging, VR, AR, and more to foster intellectual and emotional engagement with cultural property. We see digital technologies in museums not as replacements for original works, but as tools that help realize what visitors truly seek: deeper insight, richer enjoyment, and personal connection. When thoughtfully designed, they bring the artwork and object closer to lived experience. The impact of digital technologies in museums depends not only on what they offer, but on how thoughtfully and skillfully they are designed and staged. Today, I'll share some case studies that respond to quiet visitor wishes in the conventional gallery, to see what was once unseen, to sense what was once unfelt, and to encounter distant places, times, and people. Well-crafted digital experiences are beginning to make these wishes tangible and to redefine the role of museum content. Our 2022 exhibition, Museum of the Future at the Tokyo National Museum, created with Japan Broadcasting Corporation, Canon, and Sharp, welcomed over 150,000 visitors and earned a 97.5% satisfaction rate, reflecting strong public interest in immersive digital exhibitions. In the first gallery, Beyond Time and Space in 8K with NHK, large screen visuals brought visitors face-to-face with a hidden Buddhist icon at Horyuji Temple, and enlarged folding screens immersed them in town of Kyoto 400 years ago, where tiny figures in original works appeared life-sized. They could access places and times otherwise unreachable. In addition, with CG sign language support and interactive 3D models, the experience became inclusive and transformative. The second gallery, Through the Four Seasons with Canon, featured high-resolution facsimiles of 4 National Treasure folding screens. Through projection mapping and ambient sound, visitors were immersed in the painted seasons, experiencing the flow of time as if walking in the screens. In the third gallery, Dreams to Reality with 8K, developed with Sharp, brought once impossible encounters to life. Visitors used torch-shaped devices to closely study Buddhist statues from different angles, as if experiencing a creator's work. T-balls were explored with tools replicating their weight and texture, offering a tactile, intimate experience with each piece. Museum digital transformation has become a global trend. In search of meaningful approaches, we've conducted field research at over 20 museums worldwide with their generous support. What stood out was that the most engaging exhibition made cultural property feel personally meaningful and sparking dialogue among visitors. These experiences were shaped by carefully structured themes and interactive tactile environments that appeal to the senses and emotions, encouraging deeper participation and shared connection. Here, I focus on 3 key elements that enhance the quality of visitor experience and help transform it into something personally meaningful. I'll briefly introduce how these elements are reflected in international examples. These examples prioritize visitors' sense of presence and participation through engagement with the objects. At the National Museum of Korea, AI creates historical portraits from visitors' faces, while at the National Palace Museum in Taipei, they glide through projected dynamic landscapes. And at the National Museum of Taiwan History, life-sized figures share their stories directly with the viewer. These examples invite visitors to take on professional roles, from conservation and inspection to archaeological research. At the Hong Kong Museum of Art, they practice restoration, while at the National Folk Museum of Korea in Paju, they assist with pest control. And at the National Taiwan Museum, they join simulated excavations. Each offers a rare chance to digitally experience museum work behind the scenes. These examples offer visitors the chance to create their own works, selecting objects, adjusting colors, adding messages, and producing original pieces to display, photograph, or take home. They include mounting and base arrangement activities at the Children's Gallery of the National Palace Museum in Taipei, as well as portrait making and kimono design experiences at the Tokyo National Museum. These examples use tactile interaction to engage both sight and touch. At the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, touching materials reveals artworks made from them with details and locations. At the Tenement Museum in New York City, placing shop items on a table triggers projected stories and videos related to them. At the National Museum of Korea, turning book pages activates digital content related to an original book. Each uses interfaces that emulate cultural property, offering a more tangible and immersive experience. At the Hong Kong Paris Museum, participation, creation, and tangibility come together in a calligraphy experience. Visitors use real brushes to write meaningful characters drawn from original works. They select a seal, watch their piece mounted, and take it home via QR code. The experience is open to all, including children, beginners, and foreigners. Nearby originals invite comparison with their own creation, making the encounter more personally connected to the object and memorable. It naturally sparked dialogue as participants reflected on their shared engagement with the object. With limited time, I could only share some case studies today, but I hope they showed how museums worldwide are exploring new ways to make cultural property more personally meaningful. Through technology, visitors seek more than information searching. They want experiences that invite participation, foster creativity, and offer sensory connection. These experiences allow visitors to step in, take part, create, and connect with objects in tangible ways. They often spark dialogue, as participants reflect on the shared impact of what they've experienced together. To meet these needs, museums must refine everything from thematic framing and device design to accessibility and take-home elements. Such considerations are keys to the future of digital content planning. At the Tokyo National Museum, we are currently preparing new content for release next year, shaped by these very principles. We would be delighted to welcome you to experience it once it's complete. Thank you very much for your attention.